big picture?
Well, we our ends were playing a little differently at times than we did a year ago. So Etor's a lot bigger man than Hassan Reddick, right? So, we've brought in Henry to help us with that position. So, you'll see him over at tight end and dominate the tight end in the run game, those type things. And so that's how we'll use him, and he'll help us in the run game. So looking forward to watching him play.
Has he been around, 2 days, whatever it's been, will he be very involved Sunday?
He could be. It depends on how the game goes and the flow of the game. Yep.
Specific to the run game, what sort of tests does this Browns offense present for what you're building?
Well, first of all, arguably, if you look at their three backs, they may be as good a three backs as there are in the league. Really good football players, all of them. And then they have two tight ends they like that have been around a long time to block the edges in their offensive line. The left guard's as good as there is in the league, and Conklin's coming back, and so they're good up front. They've been together a while, and arguably they have one of the best offensive line coaches in the business. So, when he's on a football team, they normally lead the National Football League in rushing. So, it presents a really good test for where we're at defending the run.
What does a experienced center provide for an offense or challenges for a defense compared to one who may be less experienced?
Well, it'll be interesting because they have experienced guards, which can help. The centers, point out protections and they make a lot of calls, but they have two really veteran guards, so they can really help with that. So, they've had a center around there that's been really good. Now the center's young, but their guards will really help with all that, so they'll be fine.
How do you decode what Jacoby Brissett could be in this offense, considering he hasn't been there? Do you look at old tape in Miami? Is the preseason enough? How do you dissect that?
Well, I think it's really important to look at what he's done in the league. He's thrown 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. He's been a really efficient quarterback when he's played. And so, and I think the offense fits what he does. So, they'll play action a bunch and run the football. It's, based off the run game. And that'll really help him. And he's a good player.
How do you teach your guys how to tackle Nick Chubb, a guy who can stiff-arm defensive ends off him?
Well, there's a way to tackle. You got to bring your feet and hips and stay on your feet and keep your eyes up. And there's a way to tackle. And so that, and then the angles to the football are important because he'll break down the angles if you don't run good angles. So that leads to bad tackling. So, we just got to run good angles and bring our feet and grab and then tackle in numbers. You're not going to tackle these backs one guy. You've got to come in numbers. So we've got to play hard and really attack their ball carriers.
Why did you guys struggle against the run so much last year?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm tired of hearing that because we were 9th in yards per carry, right? Okay. They happen to run a lot against us, but we were 9th in the league in yards per carry. So, we've been able to play the run. Now, it's really important you stop the run when you need to. We had a few games where we didn't do that last year, but overall, we were decent against the run. But this is a new team, new everything, right? So this is a big challenge for us.
So what do you think when you think about improving that over the course of this year? How will you measure that? What will be the number that points to, okay, this group is
better? It's yards per carry, right? That's what it is. If you hold, it's amazing because 4 yards a carry is good in this league. And a lot of back in the day that was not good, right? But they're so good at blocking the run, but if anything that you can get under 4 yards a carry, you're playing pretty good run defense in this league. So it'll put you in the top. If you're under 4, it'll put you in the top 12 in run defense.
Back to Nick Chubb, the angles you talk about, does that include the cutbacks that he so often likes to hit? How do you coach being prepared for that?
Well, on defense, you have to trust the people you play with, and everybody has a leverage on the football, and you trust your teammate that they're going to keep proper leverage. And so if everybody trusts each other, you have an angle to run, you have to stay on that angle. And so that's how you coach that.
Bill, how many reps would you anticipate Shaq getting?
You know, I don't know that yet. As the flow of the game goes and how Shaq's feeling, and the weather may have something to do with that. You know, there's a lot of variables involved in that. So we'll just have to play that by ear as the game flows.
Would you anticipate him having a somewhat reduced role just because of him coming off that knee?
Yeah, and I think we've added some backers like Damian is really good against the run. You know, Corey can do some of the things he does in coverage. So that could help too.